Hello everybody, Adam here. I'm a professionally trained audio engineer as well as metal guitarist, and today I'm going to be checking out Dream Theater's song Panic Attack. This is a live performance from the Chaos in Motion DVD, which I have watched way too much of. I'm excited to listen to this on the earphones because I've only watched it on my TV, so I haven't really critically assessed it before. So this is the first time I've actually sat down and done a critical listen of it. And if you haven't noticed, this is a brand new camera. I'm looking better, the room's looking better, the camera's looking better, you're looking better, you're looking better. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and jump right into this video, and we'll see what we think.
What we do in Buenos Aires? We got a lot of fucking music to play for you tonight.
Alright, I'm already noticing that the vocals are 100% real. There's so much reverb on his vocals from the venue that they're in. Okay. His bass tone sounds exactly like Album. Wow, that sounds exactly like Album. I really like that like wah effect that they have on the keyboard. That effect's not coming from John Petrucci's electric guitar, I don't think. Okay. I love Mike Portnoy's drum tone in Dream Theater. It's just so good. Such a mean groove. This is like one of my favorite Dream Theater grooves. Mix is very level. Okay, I like how ducked behind LaBrie's vocals, Mike Portnoy's vocals are. This is a situation where you do not want the vocals to be equal level. LaBrie's vocals need to sit on top. You got some really interesting keyboard work in the right ear during that verse. If you go back and listen to it, you have the electric guitar in the left ear and right ear, and then some really interesting, subtle keyboard work from Rudez. Like some 16th note stuff.
Why do I feel so numb? Is it something to do with where I
Mike Portnoy's drum set sounds very real. Sounds like a live performance. It sounds like they didn't do anything opposed to his drum set.
I don't know why I can't really sometimes.
I think he was calling out his stagehand, or Portnoy was. Oh, I love that groove. That bass tone there is so fat and thick. Oh, I love it. That's what makes that part. This is a great musical decision here. Like when you hear the lyrics and listen to the music, and he's like talking about his heart rate, like getting faster and pounding faster. The music perfectly fits this. It's a great musical decision. Okay, different electric tone for Petrucci right there. Petrucci changes his electric guitar tone like, I don't know how many times per song, but he changes it so much. I forgot how much Mike Portnoy sings during all this. He has backup vocals on pretty much every part of the song.
Why do I feel so numb? Is it something to do with where I come from? Should this be fight or flight? I don't know why I'm
The keyboard seemed a little bit drowned out to me. that's kind of how they were on the album, so I don't think it's a bad decision. I will say, I don't think those are good backup vocals. What Portnoy was doing was a little sketchy. I don't like Portnoy's falsetto vocals that he does. I always thought Petrucci was better at doing backup vocals. Man, that bass tone is so fat. Ugh. Portnoy's snare tone is really interesting. He's using a lot of rim shots. So a rim shot is when you hit the center of the snare, but you also hit the side of the snare at the same time. And that gives a slightly different tone than hitting the inside of the snare alone. Okay. Okay, with this dual lead solo, they had like right before this part, they had a pan between left ear and right ear with between Rudez and Petrucci. Petrucci's in the right ear, Rudez is in the left ear. Yeah, and they're so flawless live. I really like how the live audio engineer pulled up Rudez's solo there. Because, to be honest, I've had a hard time hearing Rudez for most of the song other than the intro. Oh, okay, there we go. He pulled... I can hear the piano a lot better during the last chorus. Ugh. Not a fan of Portnoy's backup vocals. Oh. Nice. I'm so familiar with the Octavarium record that I always expect that last part to go bow, bow, bow at the very end of the song. That transitions into the next one. Alright, so let's talk about this. Of course, it's Dream Theater. What can you expect other than, like, near perfection? They are all so good at their instruments. This is a good example of what happens when you are prepared and you are well rehearsed. So, as an audio engineer, it is very, very hard, especially for being a live engineer, to work with a band that's not well rehearsed. That makes your job a lot harder. So, if you are a band and if your music is not well rehearsed, then practice, get rehearsed, never play a show before you are rehearsed. It makes the audio engineer's job insanely difficult. And also, if you're a live band, and I know a lot of live bands, especially when they're first starting out, really can't do this initially, but make sure you have somebody who is very, very familiar with your music, who understands how and where and when to pull things up and down. If you remember me saying, The live audio engineer pulled up Rudez during the solo. He also left Rudez just a little bit higher during that piano part in the last chorus. I had a very difficult time hearing Rudez up until the solo and the final chorus. But I guess I heard him okay during the intro, but the rest of the time he was just he was gone. I couldn't really hear him very well. I guess part of that is okay because this is a guitar and vocal driven song. So he's just adding augmentation for this. I like Rudez. Pull him up a little bit. Everything else about the mix was totally fine. I would say the big takeaway from this one is Mi-young's bass. So let's talk about his bass tone. Mi-young has a very complex bass setup. I don't know what he was doing in 2008 when this video was recorded. I don't know if he was just on his pedal board at the time. Either way, it's complicated what he's doing. Both him, John Petrucci, and Rudez go through so many different tones throughout their songs and their sets. During this time period, Mi-young was very into like really low end bassy stuff, which is hard to do when you're playing a 6-string bass. Keep in mind, I don't know how his bass is tuned. I don't know if he is adding one more string on the top or if he's adding 2 low strings on the bottom. I think what he's doing is he's adding 1 low string on the bottom and 1 high string on the top. So what that means is his bassy notes are going to be incredibly bassy. And when that happens and you're playing in the lower registers, sometimes the notes can become muddy and like you only hear the finger hit versus the actual note. I think we got a little bit of that during this, but I felt like it was an okay decision because John Petrucci's electric tone doesn't have a lot of bass end, and the bass end needs to be filled out by Mi-young's bass or by Rudez's keyboard. And so that's why, even though I thought the notes were kind of muddy sometimes, I felt like it was a good production decision for them to do that. I kept on saying this the whole time. If you're not a great singer, don't sing. That's just how it is. I was distracted pretty much the entire time Mike Portnoy had his mouth on a microphone. I don't think he's a good singer. He can sing on key. His key is totally fine. He never sang a wrong note, which is good. But I don't like his vocal tone. And it was during this time period where Portnoy wanted a lot more space for his voice in Dream Theater. And I just don't like it. I don't think he has a good vocal tone, especially his falsetto tone. I just don't like it. But he's obviously like one of the world's best drummers, so maybe just play your drum set really well. That's kind of what you're known for. And then maybe leave the backup vocals to John Petrucci, who's a lot better at singing. Like you can notice when John Petrucci did his backup vocals, there's a lot more power behind him. There's a lot more sustain. And I think that he's a better singer and his voice isn't used as much. That's like my only critique. That's not an audio critique. That's just like a production critique about the song. Otherwise, everything else had its place for the most part. I wish Rudez was just a little bit higher in the mix throughout the song. That's kind of the life of being a keyboardist. Sometimes you're just going to be drowned out by the electric guitar, the voice, the drums, and the bass. It is what it is. Alrighty, well, let me know if you learned anything in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell button. I do have a Patreon page as well. If you are so interested, hit the top link in my description and it'll take you to it. I have some cool subscriber perks that you might be interested in. So go down there and check it out and tell me what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.